Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It was really wonderful to see those old pictures, Aimee, of you growing up, and unbelievably so, you have reached this milestone moment as you become Bat Mitzvah at the end of this Shabbat. I know you've been working long and hard for this moment, and we're overjoyed to be here. We really are. And I know you feel the embrace of your family who is there at your home with you, your parents and your sisters. But I also hope you feel the presence of all of us who are watching, who can't be at your house, but are really with you every step of the way. Your grandparents, I know you have grandparents watching in Virginia, and your extended family. You have so many cousins who have been bar and bat mitzvah at CRC, just like your sister before you. And I know they're watching, and aunts and uncles and CRC members. I was over earlier at your house delivering a challah, and I saw Susan Cronemer. I know who's a wonderful family friend, and she was dropping off some food for you to celebrate with after your bat mitzvah. So there are your CRC family, your friends, and your family. I know members of your bat mitzvah class from last year when you were in 7th grade, I know are tuned in. And also people that just want another Shabbat service, right? So we really appreciate you helping us extend Shabbat. So I really do hope you feel all of our presence, and we are with you. They call synagogue Beit HaKnesset, a house of gathering. But that first word is Beit or Bait, which means house. Kind of like the original synagogue was supposed to be our homes. That's the holy place. And so that's the place where you're becoming a bat mitzvah. And it's an honor and a pleasure to ask your mom and dad to present you with the talit you'll wear as you lead us in prayer, chant Torah, and teach us valuable, inspiring lessons on this Shabbat afternoon.
Okay. I'm so happy to be able to have Aimee wear her grandpa Elliot's talit that we were lucky to find.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen. Aimee, I know that. Hold on, we're getting there. You did great, and the talit looks great. I know that this bat mitzvah was originally supposed to be back in April, and I know you were hoping that we would be a little bit more back to normal by the end of November, and we're getting there, but not quite there yet. We're still trying to keep everybody safe and keep ourselves safe. But I guess one of the things that's happened, because your original date was April, is we get to return to this Torah portion that you're going to chant a little bit later in the service, this amazing Torah portion of Kiddushim, which because you're going to teach us, means holiness. And so really there's even though the springtime is when we normally hear Kiddushim, any time is the right time to be more aware and to learn more about holiness. And so this being a holy moment of you becoming bat mitzvah, and holy moments are good, are tov. We're going to sing an opening song, Hine Matov. It's in the prayer book, which you can access, by the way. Aimee and her family worked really hard on a beautiful siddur. If you go to centralreform.org and you click on live stream, you'll see Aimee's bat mitzvah siddur. Then you'll have all of the pages that we have, and also many of the prayers will be overlaid on the screen also. So here's Hine Matov for this good and holy moment. We're so excited for you, Aimee, and so proud of you. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. And so, hold on one second here. And so now we're going to all turn to page 3 as we transition from the opening and the welcoming to the prayer service led by Aimee. So please turn to page 3.
Yitzgadol v'yikara shemei rabba v'ilmad yivrahiote v'yamlich mahute beyehon uvyomehon uvihai tehol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imaru amen Yehei shemei rabba mavora le'olam almaya Yitbarach, v'yishaba, v'yitapar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalal, shemedi kudasha barehu, le'olamin v'rhata v'rishita, tushbahata v'nehamata, damiran ba'omam, v'imaru, amen. Love and kindness are never wasted. They always make a difference. They bless the one who receives them, and they bless you, the giver.
I think you might be muted, Rabbi Randy.
And we're continuing on page 4.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim bechokhmah poteh she'arim uvitzvana mishana itim umahalif et hazmanim umsader et hakokavim b'mishmirotehem barakia kirtuno borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei hosha v'hosha mipnei or umavir yom umevi layla umavdil ben yon Uvein Laila. Adonai Sevaot Shemo. Elhai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv arabim. You loved your God means that because of you, the name of heaven will become beloved. That is when a person studies Bible and Mishnah and ministers to needs of the people, teaches of the Torah, and speaks gently with other people, and deals properly with others in the marketplace, and conducts his business honestly. What do people say about them? Happy is the one who studied Torah. Happy is the teacher who taught this one Torah. Please join me in chanting the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Aimee, you want to tell everyone to please be
seated?
We are at the top of page 8 with the Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anohi mitzvavcha hayom al vavecha v'shidantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivteha bebiteha Uvletaha baderech, uvshokbaha, uvkumeha, uvshartam leot al yadeha, vechayu letafo beineneha, uvtavtam al mezuzot beiteha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru, v'achtitim, and mitzvotai, v'yitam kedoshim lehem. Ani Adonai Elohim Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim leot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohim. Together, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these words which I command you this day. Teach them diligently to your children. Speak of them when you are at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you arise. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as symbols between your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Remember to do all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am your God who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your God. I know that we are people who have crossed many seas. In every service, we remember that the price of freedom is often great as we sing the same words that our ancestors sang after crossing from slavery to freedom at the shores of another sea.
Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed. 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 Sur Israel, kuma ba'ezrat Yisrael, uvdechen mecha Yehovah b'Yisrael. Go aleinu Adonai Sabaoth, Shemo Kadosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael.
So for those following along, we are on page 11 with another blessing over the evening, a blessing that asks that we be watched over and kept safe as night falls. So I will turn things over to Rabbi Randy for Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'oreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomereinu l'chaim. Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Shalom. Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomereinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomereinu l'chaim. Everything's gonna be alright, yeah. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Ufros aleinu sukat, sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat, shlomecha. Cover over us tonight with a sukat shalom, a shelter of peace over your house, Aimee. This house that has become a synagogue for your Bat Mitzvah. A shelter of peace over all of our homes. A shelter of peace over the planet Earth, which is the home for the whole world. May there be a Sukkot Shalom near and far tonight, the night, Aimee, that you become Bat Mitzvah. Amen. And Shalom.
So we are at the top of page 12 as we make our way into prayer, into this time to open up our hearts to maybe something greater than ourselves, which I know Aimee will lead us beautifully in as she has done so far this service. So Aimee, we are at your quote that you picked at the top of page 12.
What is holy? What is not? Can't be determined by rituals or ceremonies. It can only be determined by human action, for every act of humanness is holiness itself. Please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Eloheinu Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon Gomel Hasidim Tovim Ve'konei Hakol V'Zoher Hastei Avot v'Imahot Umevi Gula Livnei B'neihem Lemad Shemo B'Ahava Mela Uzer Mashiach Umagin Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. Together. Praise be the God of our ancestors, of God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, of Sarah, of Rebekah, of Leah, and of Rachel. Praise be the source of strength and courage, the source of kindness and good deeds. Praise be the source of gentleness and love, of softness and kind words. Praise be the person who transcends strength through gentleness. Praise be the person who perfects gentleness through strength. Praise be the person who acts according to the best that is within. Praise be the person who reaches out to touch the best in others. Praise be the gentle faithfulness of Abraham and the valiant strength of Sarah. Praise be the God who infused humanity with divine potential.
Atah gibor le'olam Adonai mechaye hakol atah rav lehoshia. You want to go for it, Amy? Mechalkel chayim v'chesed. Mechaye hakol v'rachamim. So many
Umatir hasarim Kayen manato mishanei afa michamocha bal gerot domea
Melech memid umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'emanata lahachayod hakol. You want to finish it? Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol.
There are sparks of holiness in everything. They constitute our spirituality.
נקדש שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמם הרם, כך כתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ויאמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ, כבודו, אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו באדיר, שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני, צמחו. אלחנו אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישביענו, ורחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גדלך, ונצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Aimee, we are at the bottom of page 16, and what are you going to tell everyone?
Please be seated.
Perfect. So we are making our way through Tefillah, where we arrive at V'shamru, which is a reminder of Shabbat. And every Shabbat is special because it's Shabbat. But I think this one is so much more special, Aimee, because we get to celebrate it with you and your family, and we get to celebrate you. And I know how hard you've worked to get to this day, and it's so much fun and such an honor to celebrate you on this Shabbat. So for those following along, we are on page 17. Every tefillah ends with a prayer for peace. And so we take a moment for a prayer for peace, but this is also a moment for ourselves to open up our hearts to maybe those prayers we haven't been able to say, or maybe we haven't wanted to say. So there's a beautiful, whoa. There's a beautiful quote. Is it echoing for everybody? Okay, there we go. There's a beautiful quote that Aimee has picked out towards the bottom of page 18 under silent meditation, but feel free to look back throughout the service. Aimee has picked out so many beautiful quotes that capture so many important moments of the service as we join together in our prayer for peace.
Ose shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu, be'ako Yisrael, be'ako yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, Amen. Ose shalom bimroma, Aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'imru Amen.
Please rise.
And Rabbi Susan, I think you are muted.
Aimee, I'd like to invite your parents and your big sister to come and stand with you. Chloe. So as we stand there and everybody gets in order, I'm going to invite everybody to Chloe's confirmation, December 11th, 7 o'clock, CRC online, 6 o'clock actually, the second night of Hanukkah. So Aimee, watching you and lead the service, I think about how long I've known your family. You know, I know your mom's family really well, your aunts, and of course your grandparents of blessed memory, who were an inspiration to all of us. But you know what I think about when I think about you here is I think about how much I learned about your family when these times I was visiting your grandfather at the nursing home, because there was always something beautiful from you and your sister, something that made the room more beautiful. I could always feel your presence there. I felt how tender your mother and her sisters were in caring for their father, and I felt your father's connection to his father-in-law in a very holy and special way. You, Aimee, I know you come from very special people. Your birth family and the family that was meant to raise you. All really beautiful people, because they have helped you become the very unique and wonderful person that stands before us today, ready to become a Bat Mitzvah, ready to receive the Torah and add your beautiful voice to the long line of tradition that has kept Torah relevant for us, has taken all of the clues of the past and have used them to help us be the best we can be, even in challenging times like this. So I see in this chain of tradition, I see your grandparents who are zooming in from Virginia. I see your Gaga and your Pop-Pop, Sheila and Jerry. I see Milt and Faye. And of course, your parents and your sister there with you. So I ask you to, your dad, to take the Torah into his arms. And, you know, I asked your mom, I said, who else is going to be in this chain of tradition with Aimee? And without skipping a beat, she said, Bones. She said, and, you know, I didn't have to explain to me what she meant. I said, oh, anybody that loved Bones has my heart. So one day we'll have to have a conversation about forensic science and how interesting that is, and how taking clues can really weave a wonderful lesson for us that we can take into our lives. So I ask your dad to take this Torah and give it to your mama and pass it through the chain of tradition there. There you go. Passing it on into your arms. And as you receive this Torah, I invite you to chant Once again, the words of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo. And so if everyone there will help you undress that Torah, we are ready to hear you read and give your teaching and become a Bat Mitzvah.
I think you're muted, Rabbi Karen.
Thank you. So while you're getting that open, I would just like to mention your tutor, who I know you worked very hard with, Julie Aronson, who also just had a baby. So when you hear Aimee read in just a moment, you'll see how much hard work she put into this with Julie and how much hard work she put into this herself. You know, the truth is Aimee had to learn Hebrew, and then she had to learn Hebrew without vowels. So it's really hard to do what she's about to do. You ready, Aimee? You feel ready? You got it? You found your spot? Okay, good. So for your first Aliyah, we would like to we are having videos of your two aunts, Aunt Flo and Aunt Jennifer. So for those who are following along, the blessing before the Torah reading is on page 20. So what will happen is we'll watch this video of the blessing, and then Aimee will go right into reading the first 3 verses of her Torah portion, and then we'll hear the blessing after. So I will call up your aunts. Ha'amod, Tzipora v'Makala Aliyah Rishona.
Baruch Adonai Haborah, Baruch Adonai Haborah Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Vayadaber Adonai el Moshe Lemor, Daber al kol adat b'nei Yisrael, v'amarta aleichem kedoshim tiyu, ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. Ish imo v'aviv tira'u v'tototai tishmaru, ani Adonai Elohechem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tuchenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah. I don't know if I can do that.
And now, Aimee, we invite up your 2 sisters who are with you at your house, Rachel and Chloe, if you will make your way up. Ta'amod, Racha Baduk Va'avra, Vechava Baduk Va'avra Li Aliyah Shniya.
Baruch et Adonai Hamborah, Baruch Adonai Hamborah Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Al tifnu el ha'elilim, v'lohei masecha, lo ta'asu lachem, ani Adonai Elohechem. V'hi tizbahu zebach shulamim, l'Adonai lirtonhem tizbahu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Vayom zivachem ye'ahel u'mimaharat, v'hanatar ad yom hashlishi, באש ישרף. ואם האחור יאהל ביום השלישי, פיגול הוא לא ירצה. ויפלב עוונו יישא, כי את קודש אדוני הלל, ונקרתה הנפש ההיא מעמיה. ובקוצריהם אקציר ארציהם, לא תקלט פאת צדها לאסור, וכקצירها לא תלקט.
Aimee, you did a great job, but we have to say the blessing. I want to call you up as a bat mitzvah. You don't have to reread what you just read, but I want to call you up as a bat mitzvah to the Torah. Is that okay? So you want to get your parents up there? So Aimee, this is your first time being called to the Torah by your Hebrew name, and you already read so beautifully. But I want to call you up. So we say, Ta'amod Amira Bat Dukva Avra La Aliyah Bat Mitzvah. You want to say the blessing before? And we are at the top of page 20.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvara, Baruch Adonai Hamvara Le'olam, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amin, Natan Lanu et Torato, Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. You want to read it again? You already read it so beautifully. You want to do it again, or you want to do the blessing after? Because you read your portion already.
You do it again, or you want to just do the blessing?
You want to do it again?
Oh, I'll just read the blessing after.
Okay, go for it.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chai olam nata b'tzpeinu, Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Aimee, you should be so proud of yourself. You read it so beautifully. You read the Torah perfectly. You should be so proud, and your parents should be so proud. So you want to give them a hug? And so before we move on to our Haftorah, which is a portion that Aimee will read taken from outside of the Torah, we pause for a prayer of healing. Anyone you're thinking of who needs a little bit of blessing, a little bit of strength to get through this next week, this next month, anyone you want to send some extra healing to that you're thinking of. If you want to join with us, we are on page 22.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We are at the top of page 23 with the Haftorah, the blessing before the Haftorah. And as I said, this is taken from outside of the Torah, and it's meant to complement the Torah portion that Aimee just read so beautifully. So she will chant the blessing before, and then the reading of the Haftorah, and then the blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah u'Moshe abdo Yisrael amo V'nvi'ei hamed b'tzedek. V'yom hahu akim et sukat David hanofelet v'gardorti et pirseihen v'horisotav akim uvnitiha kimei olam lema'an Yershuhu et she'erit edon v'hohagoyim v'nigash horesh alehem ne'um Adonai oseh zo hine yamim ba'im ne'um Adonai v'nigash horesh ba'koter v'dorech anavim v'moshe Hazorah v'hitifu harim asis v'hohagbaot titmogagna. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Zor kol halamim sadik v'ho hadarot ha'el hane'eman hamoher ve'oseh hamdaber kayen shekol devrav emet v'tzedek. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat.
Aimee, that was so beautiful and so wonderful. And now we get to hear your voice added to the long line of voices that have spoken about this Torah portion.
The Torah portion that I just read from is called Kedoshim. Kedoshim means holiness. Holiness means taking what is ordinary and making it extraordinary. To be holy means to not just be an ordinary person, but a good person with good spirits and good deeds. This Torah portion is a big set of special rules, sometimes called the Holiness Code. It is trying to get people to treat others the way we all want to be treated. One of the Jewish prayers that uses the word holy is the mourner's Kaddish. We say the Kaddish to remember someone who has passed away. It is a holy prayer because it is important to remember all the good things your loved ones did in the world. The term is also used in the Kadosh, the prayer we say on Shabbat and on Jewish holidays before we drink the wine or juice, so that we can taste the sweetness of the day. Earlier in the service, we said the prayer Kedosha, which also means holiness. It is also an extra special moment in our prayers because the Kadosh often uses the word to describe God. This portion includes laws about not stealing, about helping the needy, about being fair in your work, and about including inviting strangers. Basically, I would say the portion could be called How to Be a Good Person. There are two words in Jewish languages used for good people. One is Yiddish, and the word is mensch. The other in Hebrew is Sadiq. I decided to volunteer at an organization called Nurses for Newborns, so I could try to live up to the Holiness Code. Being holy to me means that you're always working on being a better you, and always trying to make sure you're the best version of you. That means you help others, not just because someone is pushed you to do it, because you're doing it out of love. It also means being able to realize when you're disrespecting someone, or when someone has been hurt by your words you've said. Holiness is knowing how to fix it, how to show that you can be a better, and how to improve yourself and become a better friend to others, and the best you. I ask people in my life what it means to them to be a good person, a mensch or a tzaddik. I wanted to know their personal holiness code. One of my friends, Maddie Wilton, said one rule to being a good person is to be trustworthy and to make sure you never assume anything about anyone without affirmation by that person. She also said to make sure you're always in positive and not thinking about every negative or downside. My dad said one rule to being a good person is to always tell the truth and to always stand by your word. My sister Chloe said one of her rules to be a good person is to be attentive, caring listener when someone really needs it. My sister Rachel said to be honest with yourself and others. But to understand that it's a lot easier to be an honest jerk than to be an honest with compassion. Speak truth, but be kind while you're doing it. My mom said a few rules she tries to keep are try to be kind to everyone, no matter what. Not to gossip about people. To try to see good in everyone and not try to judge others because you haven't walked in their shoes. However, if everyone followed these rules, we're so-called perfect. There would be no need for a holy code anymore. Knowing right from wrong is very difficult. It's something you have to take time out of your day for. You have to experience messing up to know your wrongdoing and how to make it right. And I don't think everyone should be perfect. Anyway, because we all need those life experience to get a deeper meaning on how to be holy. And one of the most famous lines from this portion, it says you can't love anyone until you can love yourself. In learning to love ourselves, we have to realize that we will never be perfect. And we can't expect other people to be perfect either. Also, nobody should be perfect because then you wouldn't be able to have as much empathy. You can't walk in other people's shoes until you can really relate to something they've done or gone through, even if it seems super minor or does not mean a lot to you. You have to have these experiences to grow as a person and know what things you have been doing wrong and how you can fix these things so you can help others and so you can also help yourself and make you feel a lot better about yourself, knowing you have changed. It can be hard to hear that you've done something wrong or have been mean to someone without realizing it. That's the worst feeling, that you know you've hurt someone and that it's your fault, but not being able to fix it sometimes. We need to take time to really think about what we did to reflect on the bad things and how we can change to show others we're sorry. Because sometimes we'll overuse the word sorry, which should always be said truthfully. You shouldn't just say it if you don't mean it, and if you don't know what you did wrong. That was something that took me a long time to figure out and still am today. Working on figuring out this portion has really shown me how to reflect on myself. So therefore, these kinds of rules to have because they help a lot and can guide us to be a better version of ourselves. Manas Desoroya once said, to be a good person, you don't have to waste time to prove it. This quote really stood out to me because it means you should be a good person no matter what. But don't take a lot of effort to show people. Just do the little things that can help them throughout their journey. Sometimes being a good person is more than actions or words. It can also have to do with how you feel about yourself and about doing the right thing. Even if no one is paying attention, you should feel good in your heart and be truly happy that you did a good thing. Now that I've chanted and studied the holiness code from the Torah, I feel I have another guide to help me improve myself, to motivate me to do more good deeds without being pushed, and to continue trying to show other people and myself that we can all be holier. In the Kadosha prayer, we rise up on our tiptoes 3 times as we say the word for holy, which is Kadosh. If we rose up only once, maybe we'd forget or not feel as strongly. But we repeat the word, hoping we'll feel it more and reflect on it more. And we hope that this reflection will help us share more love and make the world a better place.
All right, look at that. You got all your rabbis in these little boxes. But wait, Aimee, this is what I want to say about the box. That I just want to jump through it right now. I want to jump through the screen and I want to be right there to tell you in person what an amazing job you did becoming a Bat Mitzvah. I know it was really it was hard and difficult and frustrating to have so much uncertainty, right, about your Bat Mitzvah. And I know that wasn't easy to go through. But you did everything we asked you to, Aimee. You led the service. you chanted Torah and Haftorah beautifully, and you gave this incredible reflection about holiness. You know, Rabbi Susan said something earlier. She said, we get clues from our past. That's part of what this is. We got clues from our past, and you took those clues from the original holiness code in the Torah, and you updated them, you know, because like you said, if it was so easy to be holy, right, then we wouldn't need a holiness code, right? But we do, and we need to keep updating it because circumstances change. And sometimes we have to go back and study what happened in the past, and sometimes we have to kind of take from the past and write new rules for the future. And so I just most of all want to say Mazel Tov. I'm so proud of you. We're all so proud of you. There's no question in my mind that anyone who's watching this Bat Mitzvah feels really good and really hopeful at how amazingly you handled this really difficult task. We don't make it easy in any circumstance to become Bat Mitzvah, but you handled it just perfectly. And I just want to say this about being holy, because you mentioned it really fast, like it wasn't a big deal about nurses for newborns. But I want you to know that, and I've been hearing from you about the work you've been doing for nurses for newborns for a long time, because your mitzvah project has lasted a lot longer than most people's, because we thought your date was going to be back in April. And I know when you started with them, you volunteered in person, right? And then eventually you figured out ways to help out even when you couldn't be in person. Nurses for Newborns help under-resourced families with babies, with newborns. And one day, recently, I came to your house to drop off some of the things you need for your bat mitzvah, and I saw stacks and stacks and stacks of diapers. And I was like confused, because I was like, I don't think there's a baby in Aimee's house. And maybe they're maybe they're getting diapers for Julie's new baby, but no, you were collecting diapers at this late date to help the moms, the parents who need help even more than ever during the pandemic, when everybody's feeling stressed and when everyone is having a hard time making ends meet. And so you know about holiness, Aimee. You know about rising on your tiptoes and becoming your very best Amira, your very best Aimee self. And so I want to offer you a blessing. And it's a blessing of pride and honor and gratitude to you. And most of all, it's a blessing for holy moments, just like your Torah portion says, Kadosh, Kadoshim. This is a blessing called Shehechianu, and we sing it during special, sacred, holy times. And Aimee, this has been one of those times. I hope for you, I hope you always, 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 whenever you have a challenge in the future, right? I hope you always think about this bat mitzvah and how it wasn't easy, but you made it happen and you did so beautifully. So next time you have a challenge, you'll know you can do it, because I believe in you. We all believe in you. If you can do this bat mitzvah like you did, you can do anything. So here's for this holy moment that we were all privileged to share with you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. Which means, blessed is the Holy One whose presence fills creation, the one who gave us our lives and who kept us alive and who enabled all of us, but especially you, Aimee, to reach this special, sacred, sweet, and yes, holy moment in your life, in the life of your family, in the life of your community, and in the life of the world, which is now a better, smarter, holier place because you've become bat mitzvah. Amen. So I want you to know how much not only your rabbis, but your congregation, your synagogue loves you and is so proud of you and wants to be able to celebrate with you. And so on behalf of the whole synagogue, one of our board members, who's Josh Goldman, a wonderful board member whose parents are the founders of CRC, Josh has made a video where he's going to congratulate you and tell you about the gifts that your synagogue has given you on this wonderful day.
Hello, my name is Josh Goldman, and I am a CRC member and a member of the CRC board. Congratulations to Aimee on this great accomplishment. From the CRC board, we just want to say we're proud to present you this certificate that says you've become a Bat Mitzvah and that 2 trees have been planted in your honor in Israel. 1 tree will be planted in a majority Jewish neighborhood and the other in a largely Arab neighborhood. It is our hope that you will be able to see the 2 trees grow together in a land filled with justice and peace, and that one day you will visit and see the fruits of all that has been planted. We also have a wonderful tzedakah box for you, and as the chair of the CRC Tikkun Olam Committee, who deeply believes in what CRC is doing in social justice, I hope that you will also find a lot of meaning in social justice work and in making a difference in the world. So congratulations again, and best of luck in the future.
And you are muted, Rabbi Randy.
Such a 2020 thing. You are muted. It's going to go down in history. So anyways, your parents have those gifts. They can present it to you now. You have the certificate that says you've become a Bat Mitzvah and those trees. And there's the beautiful tzedakah jar that we know you will use, and it'll be another wonderful way to be holy in the world. So I think I'm turning things over now to one of the rabbis, Bogard, for the last couple of prayers and Havdalah.
So, Aimee, it means so much to be a part of you becoming a Bat Mitzvah. I really was inspired by your teaching and this idea of holiness and of Kedusha. And at the end, in a minute, right, you're going to lead us in that sanctification in another one. But first, we take a different one of those meanings that you talked about. We talk about Kaddish, in the mourner's Kaddish, that ancient prayer that we have that affirms life and yet is spoken by those who have suffered loss. And so we take a moment to remember those that we are grieving for right now, those that we miss. If you're thinking of someone, and if you're watching, we invite you to share their name in the chat. But in particular, our community is thinking of Mem Mavshin, of a blessed memory, Shirley Gershon, Joel Leon, Jose Valesco, the father of our own Jose, who works at CRC, Jeffrey Watson, Morton Wetchler, Carol Katz, David Levin, Greg Carlson, and Judith Coleman, of a blessed memory. So we think of all of those folks. Aimee, were there people you all were thinking of that you wanted to add right now? Any names?
Yes. Today I'm thinking about my grandpa Elliot, who passed away last January, and my grandma Jody, who passed away 4 years ago. I love you, Grandma and Grandpa, and I love you both so much, and I miss you both a lot. I would also like to remember my Uncle Carrie, my great-grandma Frances, my great-grandpa Jerry, my great-grandma Flora, my great-grandpa Abe, my great-grandpa Marcel, my great-grandma Inez, my great-grandpa Frank, my great-grandma Elaine, and my father's cousin Creighton Zirkle. Finally, I'd like to remember my grand-uncle Paul and my grand-aunt Donna.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing those names, for sharing those memories as we say these ancient words of mourning together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Belma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayichon uv'yomechon, uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. We say zichronam livracha, may the memories of all of those that we miss, all of those that we mourn, be a source of blessing in our lives. And so, Aimee, we get to take a moment. We get to take a moment to make a separation, to make a havdalah. And so I love doing this as Shabbat ends, because we are making a havdalah. We are making a separation between Shabbat and between the rest of the week. But we're also making a separation, I think, between you being in one part of your life and you being in another. Right? Traditionally, Judaism says this is the moment when you are an adult in our eyes. And what we mean by that is not that you are alone, because God knows you have your community, you have your amazing family. But what it means is that more and more we recognize you as someone who takes responsibility for yourself and for the world around you and for the community around you. And we know that this world is in good hands because you are here with us and because we are entrusting it with you. So if you have a Havdalah candle, do you have one there? If you want to grab that, and if you've got a lighter and some juice or wine and spices, something nice to smell. We say these ancient blessings of separation. Maybe we do. That was a lot of different things that happened. So let's try this one more time, Aimee. We'll let you get that fire going, and while you're getting that fire going, I'm going to make sure that the next time I press that button, the same thing doesn't happen. Let's see, where are we? Sorry, it's hard to do the rabbi thing and the tech thing all at once. Okay. So you've got that fire lit as we make this ancient separation. And if you've got that wine or grape juice, go ahead and lift it up. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen borei pari hagafen. And if you've got something nice to smell, if you've got those spices there, they say that scent is the sense most connected to memory. So Aimee, take a smell, take in this moment, look around, see your family around you that loves you, see all of your rabbis on the screen that love you, see those pictures of you going by as a kid, take it all in. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei besamim borei minei besamim yadadadai yadadadai Baruch אתה Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hold up that candle. Borei meorei ha'esh. See your fingers in the reflection. Borei meorei ha'esh. Ya 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 da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da da ya ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We make a separation. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol ben or lechoshech ben yom hashvi'i leshesh yamei hamaseh. Baruch atah Adonai hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. And if you want to take a sip of that, and then if you've got that candle, if you want to put that candle out in that grape juice, as we wish each other a Shavua Tov, that it be a week filled with peace, filled with blessing for us and for all of the world. Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov. Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. Shavua Tov, everyone.
Shavua Tov to you, Aimee, and everyone in your household, and to everyone watching this Bat Mitzvah. I hope that because we were able to have this ceremony, this service, and you as Bat Mitzvah, that it will truly live up to being a good week, a better week. And so on the heels of Thanksgiving, right? Pretty amazing. Thanksgiving and then Bat Mitzvah. So there are a lot of blessings to be said. And already some have been said, but there are more to come, Aimee. So I'm going to first ask your sister Rachel, who wants to say some words of blessing to you.
Good job. Thank you. Aimee, I'll begin with some wise words that I once saw on a mediocre-looking wall print in the home section of a Target. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. When Jewish kids dream of their bar and bat mitzvahs, they imagine synagogues filled with their family and friends, followed by big parties with DJs, photo booths, and unlimited pints of Ted Drews. Clearly, this isn't that. And you still had to endure the years of studying, tutoring, and 2 rescheduling attempts just to get to today. But what you've done here is more momentous than any bat mitzvah I've ever seen. You've taken all of your knowledge and practice, and you've essentially performed a one-woman musical in Hebrew. When I told you last night that your TikTok skills have prepared you for this day, I wasn't kidding. We are all so lucky to have witnessed the results of your hard work and diligence. Mazel tov. I love you so much, and it's incredible to watch you grow into a quick-witted, resourceful, loving young adult with an incredible knack for style and interior design. I can't wait to see where your talents and tenacity take you. Consider me honored to have a front row seat to the rest of your life.
Oh.
Amen. Amen. I like that, Aimee. I like the idea of a TikTok bat mitzvah. We'll have to work on that one. And now, of course, special words from your mom and dad.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Mazel tov, Aimee. I'm so proud of you. You've been a blessing to us, Aimee, from the moment we first saw you. It was early June, and your dad and I stood in a large green room where a lone window was partially open. You came bounding into that space, bringing the sunlight in with you to the place where we stood, waiting. Your dress was blue. You laughed nervously and bounced a shiny ball. We ran after it together. You dropped the ball suddenly, leaned over, and started pulling up strips of tape from the edges of the rug, tape intended to keep the rug in place. It's an understatement to say that the long flight back to St. Louis was an unsettling experience for you, as anyone would have expected it to be. After a couple years, at the point when we started encouraging you to stay in your own bed at night, at the end of your bedtime routine, you began asking me to wrap a Band-Aid around one of your fingers. This was part of our ritual for several years. But there came a week, whose season I don't recall, when we stopped asking. One of the greatest joys we have as parents is to watch our children grow and to experience the continual process of getting to know them. We've learned that although you tend to be cautious, you can also be bold, even daring at times. As you well know, your dad and I became frantic one afternoon, just after you'd turned 3, when we realized you'd ventured out of the house on your own. We jumped in the car and drove up and down a couple of the streets in our neighborhood before we spotted you jogging steadily up the sidewalk. As we caught our breath, you told us that you just wanted to go running, how Daddy does. I'll also never forget the story your Grandma Jody told me when you both returned from a nearby playground. She looked away for a second before hearing you shout, "Watch this!" She turned and saw you standing on top of the monkey bars from which you proceeded to jump. The following week, you recoiled in fear when I tried to place you on top of a carousel horse. Not long after that, you began to explore and engage in a great chain of pursuits, without fear or hesitation, from gymnastics and figure skating to guitar, violin, and glitzy slime creation to the interior design of your room, tennis, soccer, and even contortion. I'm still amazed by your ability to twist and morph into so many incredible shapes. I look at your eyes when you're upside down, and I try to see from your perspective. As parents, we wake up and we swear that we can actually see the fraction of height our children gained overnight and the additional length of their hair in the morning light. We're privileged to witness the development of their character, the qualities that emerge and become an inextricable part of who they are. From the time you were small, I've seen your compassion whenever you encounter someone asking for help. When we've been able to respond to someone's request for food, you want to be the one to walk back to them, to place what you have in their hands. And after we've departed, you show concern not only about their current well-being, but about their story. You wonder where each person has come from, where they've been, and what they've been through. You ask questions I wish I could answer. Your empathy and sensitivity are clear not only in your questions, but in the way your thoughts linger on the person that you met. As I wrote in your Siddur welcome note, I'll always be thankful for all the times you came with me to visit your grandpa towards the end of his life, for the conversations you had with him, and for visiting with some of the other residents at Sunrise as well. When you noticed a particular individual seemed especially lonely and didn't seem to have visitors, your sadness was palpable. And on our next visit, you brought him a multicolored card you made. You sat down next to him, and when it was time to go, you let him know you'd enjoyed the conversation. I'm grateful, too, for the ways you've leaned on us, your family, throughout the last few years, which have brought their fair share of growing pains. Over the last several months, you've seized the opportunity that having a little extra time has granted you to engage in self-reflection and introspection. You've taken time to be still. I've seen you thinking about the person you are, who you always will be, and the person you have yet to become. With your passion for life, your clear sense of direction, and with your large and open heart, I can see the light you will bring into rooms you have yet to step into, the light you'll spread throughout the places you will live. I can see you already making the world a brighter place than it was before.
All right. So I'll tell you what, we got a few more things to do. Duke, come on up, and everyone come over to Aimee. Duke, did you have some words? Duke?
I did, but it's really hard to follow a nationally published poet after that. That was a little hard to follow. No, I guess I wrote. All right. Do you mind if I read it?
No.
Rabbi Randy, is it okay?
Of course it's okay.
All right. No, you're good. I've thought about this day a lot, especially when jogging around Forest Park. In particular, I think about the oldest trees, now devoid of leaves, and how Aimee's life reflects a similar morphology. From the trunk, branches divide more and more from a fractal to form a fractal umbrella. Underneath, where I cannot see, roots divide in almost perfect symmetry to mirror the top. I thought about how the tree does not grow from the roots any more than it grows from the leaves. Instead, it slowly expands and descends in increasing divisions in one long timeless inhalation. I feel Aimee parallels these trees perfectly. Instead of earth and sky, Aimee's roots and branches reach into past and future. Just as much as the future holds endless potential, so does her present and her past. Who Aimee was a year ago is not immutable, because only she can decide who she was. It changes as she grows. Even the present feels infinite. Who she is in this very moment, on this day of her Bat Mitzvah, is more than a demarcation of growth. It is a dynamic moment in which she can reach forward and back into her life to define what being Aimee means today. Thus, I ask, who is Aimee, and who is she, and who was she really? She is a great conversationalist and self-effacing comedian who deeply loves her family. Aimee could be obstinate, but perhaps she was instead stubbornly passionate. She was a master of making slime from Elmer's glue, but perhaps she actually was a burgeoning chemist or a modern sculptor. Maybe she was never a not-so-secret extrovert, and instead was an, in fact, secret introvert. And who will she be? A forensic anthropologist, a social networking CEO, a child psychologist, maybe even a rabbi? With Aimee, everything seems equally possible. Who she was seems to have the same infinite potential as who she is and will be. Every day I am awed by her. She inflates not just her universe, but also my own. I am incredibly proud of Aimee today. This is an emotion for me. And I eagerly await to find out more about the depths of not only who she will become, but who she is and who she realizes she really was. To me, Aimee will always be infinite.
Beautiful. Oh, so everyone stay up there. Make a little room because I can't see Rachel. Let's get everyone in the field. There we go. Everyone wants to see you. You can be. So I have a few things I want to say before we close with a blessing or two. A few more closing blessings. One is, I think it's true that after we kind of officially end the service with the blessing, that there are going to be some video messages, right, for Aimee from people in her life. So if those of you who are watching this Bat Mitzvah want to stick around after we do the closing priestly blessing, you'll see a series of videos that people made for Aimee to congratulate her for her Bat Mitzvah. And then secondly, do you guys have that challah? Is it somewhere?
What's left of it?
Grab that challah. Hey, Allison, is it okay if I tell? I have to tell. So,
yes. Go ahead.
This challah was made by Linda Cohen, who's a fantabulous challah maker, and so I know everyone's excited to have that challah. And I have to give away a secret that I think a little bit of it was already eaten. It's kind of hard to keep.
A solid third.
Okay, there's definitely enough of it to still go around. So I'm with Linda, and we're gonna make a blessing for gratitude and for everything that we have and we have to share, and for nourishing us with nourishment for body and mind and spirit. This has been a very nourishing time we've been able to spend together, Aimee, thanks to you. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. All right, and now, go ahead. Yeah, Aimee, you should have a bite because you've been doing all the work up there. So let's put our arms around Aimee over there, her wonderful family. Put your arms around her. your rabbis are putting our arms around you in a virtual way. I'm going to throw it over to, let's go, Rabbi Karen, then Rabbi Daniel, and Rabbi Susan for the final blessing. Here we go.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May you be blessed and watched over and kept safe.
Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Aimee, may you take a little bit of this light that hopefully you have felt today and that you have helped to spread into that world, into this world. May you take it in. May you hold it within you. And may you always know how loved you are by your community.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Aimee, you have received many blessings today. Beautiful blessings from Rachel, from your mom, and no surprise, from your dad. A perfect blessing from your dad. What a compliment you have surrounding you there to help be witnesses to this moment in your life. And may we all be able to have, as your sister said, front row seats to Aimee's life as you go forward. We know you will be a blessing. And may you know peace, my dear, in your heart, in your home, in our communities. And because of this glorious day, may there be a little bit more light and peace for all creation as we say Amen and Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
Singing tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, singing tov, singing tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, singing tov, singing tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, singing tov. Hey lanu, ulechol Yisrael. Hey lanu, ulechol Yisrael. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Rabbi Randy, I think you are muted.
One
last time.
Before the messages, just so you guys know, be on the kind of keep your ears open. Some CRC members are going to do one of the famous quarantine era drive-by celebrations to let you know how much CRC loves and appreciates you. So if you hear some cars honking, they might there might be some CRC folks. But right now, the messages to Aimee. We love you guys. We love you all.
Love you. Thanks so much to every one of you. We really appreciate everything, all your support in the beautiful service.
Shavua Tov and Mazel Tov.
Shabbat Shalom. Shavua Tov. Shabbat's over.
We're so proud of you, and we know that you've been through a lot to get to this point, but we know you're going to do a beautiful job, and wanted to say Mazel Tov for the colon.
Aimee, we're so very proud of you. You've been patient. We will never forget this Bat Mitzvah. It's been an extraordinary year, and you are an extraordinary young lady.
Okay, ready?
Happy Bat Mitzvah, Aimee. I love you, cousin.
Now look at me. Okay, so we love you.
Congratulations, Aimee! It is Sherry and Katra and all of us Arnolds, even the ones who aren't here, are sending our love and support. This is big.
Hi, Aimee. Congratulations on your special day.
We know you've worked so hard and have to achieve this milestone.
We're sad we can't be with you in person, but we hope to visit you and everyone soon. We love and miss you and hope you're doing well. Bye!
Congrats, dude. Very proud of you. Mazel tov. I wish you could have been there to watch the Bat Mitzvah, and I'm very proud of you and all that you've accomplished.
Hey Aimee, Josie here. Congrats on your Bat Mitzvah. I cannot wait to tune in. I know you're gonna kill it. I'm sure it's been extra hard in the pandemic, but you've got this. You're gonna be awesome, and I can't wait to watch.
Hi Aimee, Mazel Tov. This is Susan, your mom's longtime friend from growing up in Green Trails, and I just wanted to wish you a wonderful celebration today.
Mazel Tov, Aimee. Congratulations, you've accomplished a lot during these tough COVID times, and I've enjoyed watching you grow up into the young lady you've become.
Congratulations, Aimee, on your Bat Mitzvah. What an amazing, amazing accomplishment. I could not be more proud of you and all that you stand for and the beautiful woman you become. I'm just thinking about your journey through this whole process and all of the challenges you faced, and you were head on with these challenges. You persevered, you rose above it, and congrats on your amazing success. I love you, oodles and oodles.
Hey Aimee, congratulations on your Bat Mitzvah. Wish you could be there. Mazel tov!
We're so proud of you. Your perseverance has really paid off, and we can't wait to be part of your special day on Saturday. We love you bunches, guys.
Love you.
Hi, Aimee. Congratulations on your Bat Mitzvah. This is really, really exciting. And so all of us here in the Dahlheimer house congratulate you on this really big milestone. I hope you enjoy the weekend.
You have been preparing for your Bat Mitzvah for not only the last 3 years, but for a lifetime, and with your family's guidance and love. And not only that, with your faith community's support as well. And we are so happy for you, and we're so happy that you get to wear your grandpa's tallis as well during your ceremony.
Aimee, during this time when you've been able to accomplish what you have, it's shown a lot of character and perseverance, and those are great characteristics. I know that we're not able to be there in person to watch you during your Bat Mitzvah, but keep in mind that we'll still all be watching, and Mazel Tov.
I will never forget, I think it was 12 years ago, maybe 11 and a half years ago, when you came home, came through the airport, we had balloons, and we welcomed you home, and what a long way you've come.
Nice job.
Honey,
Congrats.
You know that we wish we were there in person, but we're with you in spirit. We love you very, very much and are so proud of you.
Aimee, we love you. Happy Bat Mitzvah.
So proud of you, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Congratulations, Aimee. We are so proud of you. Mazel tov, and good luck this week.
Love you.
Mwah.